This is Hannibal here with a daily wrestling news update. Let's get into the AEW Full Gear results. The most talked about thing from Full Gear is the Rizzler and the Costco guys crew. And I guess they're based out of New Jersey. So would this work in a place where that's not New Jersey? I don't know. Was it a good thing? This whole QT Marshall match, was it a good thing against the Costco guys, a couple of kids, and a guy that hadn't wrestled for 20 years? It got them publicity, but I mean, David Arquette winning the WCW title also got them publicity. And in the end, it was one of the nails of in the coffin as the company. To me, AEW is worse now than WCW was at its peak. I mean, the main event of Full Gear was Jon Moxley defeating Orange Cassidy, who has the body of a kid, at least before he had a gimmick, but now he talks, by the way. I mean, and I hated the gimmick, but like now it's just a small guy that talks. But let's get into the results here. Apparently, the pre-show started at 6:35. And the main show started a few hours later, so I'm going to guess the show was at least 5 hours. Private Party won a fatal four-way to retain the AEW tag team titles. MJF defeated Roderick Strong. Now there's a pay-per-view quality match. Mercedes Moné defeated Chris Statlander, as if anyone thought that wouldn't be the end. Jay White defeated Hangman Page. Kyle Fletcher defeated Will Ospreay. There's two finishes that I'd be a bit surprised at, considering the other two are more over. But Jay White, I got nothing against him. Daniel Garcia, who's nearly re-signed, defeated Jack Perry. I don't know much about Daniel Garcia. Jack Perry came back with some buzz, but it seems to have pretty much faded. Takashita defeated Ricochet to retain the AEW International title. A lot of people have been saying Ricochet, for his mic work ability, is not really a top star just because he's not any good on the mic. Bobby Lashley defeated Swerve Strickland, who Swerve is supposedly making a fortune. They've been pushing the hell out of. And he's been losing a lot lately. And Jon Moxley defeated Orange Cassidy in the main event to retain the AEW World Championship. At least Moxley showed up to an advertised match. There's about 10,000 in the building, which holds 16,755. So, I mean, that's apparently the Costco guys, being from New Jersey, got some publicity for it. But again, like the goofy stuff with a kid giving a spear to a grown man and that leading into a finish. I mean, I can't take that seriously. In other news, WWE is claiming 50 million people watch CM Punk's return on SmackDown. If you go to their YouTube channel, which I just did, the actual YouTube video has 2.6 million, which is nothing to say isn't impressive, but I guess I don't know where they're getting the 50 million number from. I guess they're adding up places from everywhere, but they got 2.6 million on YouTube. By the way, for the people that are all on about this AJ from the Costco guys against QT Marshall, 300,000 people watched the AEW Full Gear preview. 300,000. And again, it was on the pre-show, and I listened to Wrestling Observer Radio, and Dave Meltzer said for all the publicity that they gave this match, they put so much effort getting the Rizzler over. And again, I watched the match. They must have said the stupid name, the Rizzler, 20 or 30 times. Somebody can go back and count. It was as annoying to me as Vince Russo saying bro is to some people. The Rizzler, the Rizzler, the Rizzler's doing this, the Rizzler's doing that. I don't care what a 6-year-old fat kid is doing. I don't want to. Could you imagine having, like, back in the 80s in the Hulk Hogan era, having kids like coming in and like taking down wrestlers. Could you imagine like a 6-year-old kid coming in and double legging Kamala? And that being the finish to a match. Like the characters were just so much more believable. And like this is just, we all know wrestling's fake, but this just makes it look so much faker. And to me, well, it was a passable match. QT Marshall made it passable. It went way too long for the Costco guy's cardio ability. And again, I'll say it again, the Big Show, who's collected massive checks for doing pretty much nothing in AEW, he did something in the match. Nothing memorable, but he did something. I wonder if someone figured out how much he makes, how many millions he gets paid, and how many appearances he's actually had, breaks that down into how much he actually makes per appearance. By the way, Dynamite, which gets paid a crap load more money than NXT to be on TV, was beat by NXT in viewership this week. Dynamite only got 640,000 viewers. NXT got 672,000 viewers. The other thing, and I'm sorry I skipped over this, Dave Meltzer said about this Costco guy match. By the way, Meltzer, I mean, he's looking at the bright side of this. To me, it's worse than Vince Russo winning the title, because at least Vince Russo was a wrestling heel, and like people knew who Vince Russo was. More and like David Arquette, I mean, at least Scream was out at that time, and everyone watched. To me, David Arquette was best known as Courtney Cox's boyfriend or ex-husband, but like people knew those guys. Horrible decisions that helped kill WCW, but like the general public knew them. I didn't know who the hell the Rizzler was before this. And to just have it, like, it seemed like AEW took all of their promotion onto this pre-show match, whereas Meltzer says, why didn't they at least put it on the pay-per-view so people would have had to buy the pay-per-view? But in the end, only about 300,000 people have seen it on the pre-show. So you couldn't really call that a success to me. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know why they keep putting Orange Cassidy in main events. People are tuning out when they put Cassidy in the main events. They tuned out on Dynamite last week. People don't care that are my size, that are 280 pounds. We don't want to see kids wrestling or skinny looking guys that look like they should be in high school in main events. It's just nothing I want to see. It's horrible to people like me. I like the Bruiser Brodies, the Ultimate Warriors. I'll even say, if it wasn't for Abdullah's shady stuff with the infecting, he was a good character because he was believable. The Road Warriors, Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner. I mean, the Hulk Hogan I even liked. The Macho Man, he's a believable character. I mean, it just seems like it's just the characters aren't believable, and there's too many people that don't look the part of larger than life characters. A lot of them wear fancy, flashy outfits, but there's nothing that makes me actually want to wrestle. And all this CMLL stuff and this Mexican wrestling stuff that you keep shoving down my throat. I've seen the flips. There's only so many times you can see flips and still be impressed. We've been seeing them since the 90s. Anyways, I don't mean to be negative, but Conor McGregor said on Twitter he was going to appeal his civil court ruling of being found civilly guilty or civilly liable of rape. It's weird. She was also accusing someone else of rape, but that guy got off. I mean, he's still the biggest draw in UFC. Dave Meltzer doesn't think this is going to affect whether he's going to fight in UFC again. He had no fights announced. And since his fight back in June being canceled for his broken toe, there's been nothing new about him fighting. Apparently, Mayweather had a domestic violence charge in the past, and it made no difference to his career. So likely this won't make much difference to McGregor's. The Costco kids are bigger than the CMLL wrestlers, Jack Kilby said. There's an overabundance of them, and they spend so much time promoting CMLL. Why don't you promote your own product and make your own product better? Like, even think about this. They love promoting other people. Like, how much have we had to hear about the Costco guys this week? Why not promote people you have? They'll probably be signed. These guys. But like, why don't you promote people you already have under contract? You have so many sitting at home. No wonder Penta's leaving for WWE. When was the last time you used him on TV? Anyways, it's a frustrating thing, but the good thing about AEW, it frustrates me so much. Yesterday, I had amazing workouts. I actually was able to run for 20 minutes for the first time since I've injured my ankle. So that was progress. I'm here in Kansas on a training camp because I really want to. I haven't gotten any confirmation yet, but I will be at the ECW Arena May 3rd for One and Done. The Tri-State Wrestling Alliance final show in history. And I'm working towards trying to convince them to give me a match on that show. I'm going to be there. I've been invited to the arena to cover it, do interviews with people. I will be there. We're very popular in Philadelphia here on the Hannibal TV. But I'm training, and I want to like go there, have an amazing match. That'll be my goal. So we'll see. I'm going to try and have Joel Goodhart, who's running that show on this channel, in a couple weeks, and maybe he'll be able to address that with me directly. We'll see. But Jack Kilby's about to interview Bob Cook, former WWE and WCW wrestler. One and Done is going to be a big independent wrestling event for sure. I mean, Jack Kilby is going to be there too. We're both going to be there. And I'm looking forward to it. Shane Douglas is going to be there. I understand Medusa is going to be there. Lots of guys. Tommy Rich, Wildfire. But when I have Joel Goodhart on, we're going to talk more about it. But I haven't wrestled. I was supposed to wrestle on a Battleground Championship Wrestling event there in, I think, 2021. Around September of 2021. It didn't work out. It was my fault. But I want to be able to cross that off my bucket list. There you go. Sabu, who I've wrestled twice, is going to be there. And by the way, there will be no more Blood Hunter when I come back. I am going to be returning as Hannibal because I'm just too pretty to be covered in a mask.